Yes, I didn't have to spell check. Excuse the kamikaze in there.
I have one, thank you. Oh, yes, thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Everybody got an agenda? So I want to welcome everybody here tonight. We are going to do things a little bit different than we have in the past. It's all good. But I can reassure you, this is my first time ever running a meeting. It will not be perfect, so bear with us as we all learn and grow from this experience that's put in front of us. So, I guess we would like to call to order this meeting and do the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Don't make me sing. Make you sing? So I wanted to, again, welcome everybody for coming. It's awesome to have people so interested. We welcome all advice, interests. We're open to any suggestions, and we're always open to put anything on to next agenda. We're going to stick with what we've got tonight. He's got one? Okay. So we do have at the end of the agenda a place question and answers for the audience. So we're going to go about our business and do our meeting, and then we would love to hear from you folks. And I also just want to throw out there that on the website there is an email address. You can email the theater, and the theater manager, Donna, will try her best to answer you in a timely fashion, okay? So we're going to do introductions, and we have 2 brand new members, which is awesome. Do you have anything you want to say to any of us?
I don't think
You
so.
are.
I'm Amber Quinn. I believe everybody in here actually knows me. I'm interested to get started and cut costs and then figure out how we're going to grow the revenue.
Yeah. And this is Jen Watson. She and her husband moved to town now a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Yep.
And I think she might have some things she might like to say to us.
Do you want me to go into all of it right now, or?
Yep,
Okay.
might as well.
All right, I'm Jenny Watson, and a resident of Pittsfield. I'm excited to be here and contribute to the theater moving forward. I wanted to give you a little background about me. I wanted to be here because I have 2 little kids, little babies, and I want them to have a place in the community that kind of fosters the performing arts and give them culture. And I've always loved going to the theater, musicals. I've done dance my whole life. I was always in a theater. And I feel like it's really important in order for them to have that. And just kind of from last week and the weekend meeting, I was just taking notes and kind of gathering what everybody was saying. And one of the themes that kind of was throughout was that we need a little bit more organization in this committee. So I have some thoughts on what that means. And so, with your permission, I'm hoping that we can kind of talk about that and discuss it. And I've got a couple things. First question that really came to mind was, what do we see ourselves as this committee? And we do have a vision and a mission that's on the website. But it feels like, I'm not sure if this is what it was, but it seemed more like we would do a lot of fundraising. And there wasn't really a structure to it. And so looking into ordinance, I went and found the definition of what a committee is, and I think you have a copy of that in the notes there. And we are an oversight and advisory committee to the theater. So it's not our jobs to make everything happen, but we are supposed to be advising and helping her. We could be that supporting role for her. So one of the things I think we need to define is who's going to be our chair, our vice chair, our secretary. Those are all in the ordinance that we are supposed to have those positions. And we kind of follow that and gave you those definitions there. So I think maybe choosing those people tonight would be a good idea. Definitely. So that way we can get our base started. And then I also had some ideas for subcommittees to help us move along in different projects in a more organized fashion. One of them would be a standing finance subcommittee, and then a standing marketing subcommittee, and then we could do an ad hoc fundraising subcommittee. And reading through the ordinance, in section 103.4, we are allowed to have associate members of the community. They're non-voting members, but they're like an advisory position. So I was thinking, these are just numbers that I came up with. If we put 3 people on each of these committees, 3 of us on these committees, and then have like maximum 3 members of the community on the committees as well to help us. That way we get community input as well as ours. I think that would be a good thing moving forward. So thoughts, ideas?
I think it sounds good.
Okay.
I definitely think we need to pick up positions.
I think we need to put it on the agenda for next time. We need to discuss what's going to happen. And on our agenda, we'll be talking about attendance. So, did you want to add any more, Jen? Or, because I know you've had a lot of thoughts, and they're awesome. Awesome.
I think those were the main. I think we need to get ourselves looking at the finances, making a plan. I think we need a business plan, and just some ideas that I had. I don't think we're going to make ourselves sustainable this year. I just don't think that's a realistic expectation. So I think if we can get a business plan together, which would be part of the financing subcommittee, and then we go to the council in 6 months and show them, we have to show them the plan that we have ASAP and get their thoughts, ideas, and approval. And then go back in 6 months and say, this is what we've been doing, and then go back at the end of the year and hopefully we show them growth and that we're improving. So that way in the future, like 3-year plan would be, we ask for a decreasing amount from them as we're increasing our revenue to maybe hopefully 3 to 5 years from now be sustainable where we break even. Who knows, maybe we can go past that in the future and make money, which would be awesome. Something that I think could be a goal for maybe 10 years down the line, hopefully sooner. But I think we need to show the council and the community that we're working hard and that we're going to make this happen. And we need to make a business plan ASAP.
Awesome. Awesome job, and very excited to have you. We do kind of need to do some sort of roll call so we know who we are, the audience needs to know, and just we need to have a record. So and also I want to introduce Donna. She is the manager of the theater, and this is her right-hand gal, Maria Farmer. Very hard-working gal and a great resource to us. She lives out of town in Detroit, am I correct? But has a strong interest in the community and the theater in particular, and has helped us a great deal, and I think she's going to continue. So So, so Amber is here tonight. Peg Greg, not here tonight, was not able to phone in, internet issues. Myself is here tonight. Patty Berry.
Yep.
Dale's here. This is Dale over here. And Jen is here. Connie LaGrosse has stepped down from her position, so she's not here tonight as well. This is pretty good turnout for us, even though we have 2 people that aren't here. So that's pretty good. Do you have minutes from our last meeting? Awesome. Can you tell us them?
The minutes are basically just a summary of what we, and the roll call was Amber here, Patty, myself, Catherine, Donna, and Maria. We briefly went over our expense and revenue. We discussed the Valentine dance that was later canceled. We also discussed ways to bring in revenue such as, what's it called? Comic-Con?
Comic-Con.
I called it Comic-Con. Comic-Con. Bands and open mic night. Ways to save money were also discussed, such as cut the middleman when ordering movies, volunteers to help out at the theater, and comparing prices to get things at lower prices. We had an audience of about 25 people, questions and concerns. Some were answered as best we could at the time. The meeting ended at 9:15.
Awesome. Thank you. So do we have any old business that we want to bring up tonight? Okay. We just want to go into our new business. So, new business, number 1 item discussed tonight is attendance to these meetings. We're all very aware that we have a wonderful lady that lives out of the country half the year. She's been a wonderful resource. She is a huge supporter, she and her husband. We need to decide what we're going to do about that situation. We need to decide what we're going to do about future situations. Jen has kindly printed off the different positions that we need to have filled. We're going to urge you guys, you ladies, you people, to take that home, read them over, and decide if this is something you want to fulfill. You also need to decide if you can make the commitment in your lives, because we are going to be having some emergency meetings like tonight. We're going to have things spring up. And we're going to have to put a lot of time and effort into keeping this theater open. And it's going to take a lot of work. And we're going to have to do it, and it's going to have to be more than 1 meeting a month, and you're going to have to attend. Of course, things do come up in people's lives. We understand that. But if you can't be here 90% of the time, perhaps you should consider kindly stepping down or not taking part in it. You can be a friend of the theater type of thing and assist us in different ways when you're available, but not be a voting member. It keeps us from doing our business. It keeps us from moving forward. Does anybody else have anything they'd like to add?
I think that's a good idea. So you need people to be there so that you can proceed with items and have enough people to vote.
Now, Connie is not going to be here. We'll have to find out Peg's position and what she would like to do.
Do we need to make a policy that gets put in to our bylaws, or we have to hold people accountable to it? We don't know how that happens.
I don't know either. So perhaps one of us, we should put that onto one of us, to research it and come back to the committee, our next meeting, which I believe we'll get into it, but I'm kind of hoping everybody's hoping for next week.
Yeah.
Anybody want to take charge in that?
Okay.
You want to look it up? Maybe have some suggestions, or just look into that for us about adding new policies, when and if we can do that. And we are going to have to address policies, but I felt like tonight, maybe it was too much for tonight. We need to just get organized. We need to figure out who's on our board for our committee. And we need to discuss, which is the next item for business, immediate cutbacks. The way I understand it is the town didn't necessarily say in June you're closing. They have funded the theater with enough money, the way it is going now, that will carry us through to June. If we can stretch that money out, we can keep going further. And that's our goal, is to stretch it out and bring in other revenue. Right now, the immediate is what can we cut back on? Anybody got any ideas?
Yep, I think we need to be closing down at least 2 days a week. After looking over the attendance numbers, I am voting for closing down Tuesday, Wednesday, and possibly Thursday. The only, I know Monday kind of looks good, like people think, oh, we should be closed Sunday, Monday. But I feel like the dollar night people that we are getting are in that routine, and we just need to keep them. Like, we cannot risk losing those people we already have coming on that one night a week. Wednesday's numbers were a little higher than I thought they'd be, but that seemed to be because a lot of Wednesdays they ran matinees, and it sounded like the matinees, from the looks of the paperwork, do good during vacation and summer. But I feel that those could be moved to a Thursday or a Friday with the same kind of results. Whereas Monday night, I feel like we already got the momentum going with the dollar night. We need to keep those people.
Okay, anybody else have any ideas?
Well, I think that the Tuesday, Wednesday is a good idea.
Yeah.
But if you leave Thursday open, if we can do that, it always gives people one more
Yeah,
day to see
weekday.
the movie.
Yeah.
Before
And it
they
would be a
slide
good
over.
day to throw a matinee in if we were going to, since
Yes.
we're not open
So
Wednesday
Tuesday,
anymore.
Wednesday.
Well, we need to vote on it. I kind of have an idea I'd like to express. You guys think it over. I think cost-wise, I understand completely what you're saying. We've got a nice crowd. For our audience, people don't really realize Monday is dollar night. We may have to adjust that, but that's not what we're here to do tonight on that particular item. She makes not a lot of money at the box office, but she makes a lot of money in concessions. Probably, if we were to do the numbers, she probably makes more in concessions in that one night than she might all week long. So she is making money, even though it's cheap to get in. She's making money that way. My thoughts were, and I hope you just take it in consideration, we already have a Sunday afternoon?
Yes.
Okay, she opens for Sunday afternoon. If we backed it up slightly, say to a 4 o'clock, because it's 2 o'clock now, right?
Yes.
It's later in the day the heat comes on. If we did a Sunday afternoon, a Sunday night, possible, at least the heat's on that one day. I think maybe we should consider putting dollar night to Sunday night. Then we're going to be closed Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. That's 3 nights. That's a lot of savings in heat, lights, and it gives Donna a chance to have 2 days off. It also gives her 1 day to do her paperwork. She's going to have a huge amount of paperwork coming up here while she's trying to run the regular business. It gives her a day to do paperwork. do what she needs to do.
Mhm.
If she needs to run over to Sam's Club and get popcorn, that might be a good day to do it. And paperwork. But she's going to have to work that day. It's just a thought. I wanted to bring it up to you. I hate the idea of closing it all any night, but we got to do it. We got to do it. And this is just hopefully for the time being. We can open it back up if things turn around. We have the wonderful network committee that has, I think those young women are they're going to get sky's the limits. And I think we need to stay open about the future. And I just wanted to put that out there. Does anybody feel that they are ready and prepared to vote for that tonight?
I do.
You do?
Do you know?
So it would be the same movie show twice
Yep.
in the one day.
Yep.
It's like a regular matinee day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I bring back the time. It's closer.
Mhm.
That way also, Donna has a 4 o'clock showing, so we'll say, do you get there an hour early, Donna?
Yeah. I'll wait till you're done, then I'll speak what I found
Sure.
out too.
Absolutely. Say she gets there at 3 o'clock. She's got a full day of movies, and she doesn't have a huge lapse in time that she's got the same employee with her all day. In between the movies, that might be a great time for them to do their cleaning, or their ordering, or something. They won't just be sitting there. There's time to do what needs to be done. I just thought it was a suggestion. What do you need, Donna?
I know we've talked, and I was supposed to table it to next week about talking to John, and that was part of what I talked to John about besides the middleman and everything. His suggestions were pretty good. He told me that we should be open on Saturday for matinees, or even a Friday matinee for seniors, go at 4 o'clock, for maybe on a Saturday, do a 1 or 1:30, do a 4, and then a 7. Instead of having us open at 7:30, open the doors at 6:30, have the movie at 7. Move it up a little bit, because our audience now isn't just kids, it's 40 years and up, and families on the weekends. So he thought maybe, and instead of doing, like I said, the 7:30, move it up to 7, so that when the seniors are out, they're getting home a little early, the kids are getting home earlier.
Yeah.
Good idea.
Yeah. It's hard to keep the kids out that late, and
Yeah.
it would be easier.
Yeah.
And for Monday, he also had another suggestion, and I told him I'd bring it up, is instead of doing $1 night on Monday, we could do $3 and maybe give a free popcorn. And he goes, and you're still offsetting your Monday.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So those are different things.
So, do any of us feel that perhaps John's suggestion was Saturday? I understand his thoughts on the senior citizens. I also think that in town Pittsfield, there's a lot going on Saturdays. There's basketball games. I'm now thinking about the kids. Basketball games all day long. That's why I think 2 o'clock wouldn't work. But a Sunday afternoon at 4 o'clock, 3:30, whatever we decide, might be a good time, and that might be a good time for the senior citizens.
Or Saturday might go okay at 4 and 7. You know, like instead of Sunday. Because it's not a school night, you know? People are not likely to do stuff. I don't know. I think we should cut before we add. I think we should worry about the days we're going to close and then worry about adding an extra movie if we want. Oh, can we hear from Mike?
Yes, Mike?
I met with Donna today and got my eyes open to some of the costs that you're dealing with. And I realize I'm just a small voice out here in the audience, but you might be a week early to be cutting and adding and changing and slashing without the facts of what the numbers really mean. I listened to some of those thoughts that came from the Farmington Theater. And I agree that shortening the number of nights that a film is playing will assist in many ways. I did a few quick calculations, and I really, my own humble opinion, I'm not sure your theater manager should be cleaning at a higher pay rate when there's other things that could be more valuable with her time. So there's a number of things. Pittsfield has a senior citizens day at the Elks once a week. Is there a way to piggyback a matinee so that you already have 30, 40, 50, 60 people that have been playing cards? They have a lunch and then they have an opportunity for the movies that fit their genre. I think there may be great ideas to raise the price and throw in something, but I haven't had a chance to figure out what those prices are. I had an opportunity today to talk to somebody who travels outside of this area, and he went to a small community theater in North Carolina over Christmas. And it is run as a co-op. So there is sponsorship. The theater manager gets up before each movie, thanks the people personally for coming, introduces the person that may be the sponsor of the evening. There are ways to fill the seats, and I absolutely applaud you for looking at cutting the costs. But I think without a plan, we're slicing things off that we may or may not be able to add back in. And so it is your role to decide what you wish to do, and decisions do need to come quickly, but I think decisions need to be based on fact. And I saw some of the similar numbers. 2 people, 3 people, 1 person to a showing. I looked at the statistics of November, I guess. I don't know if that's a good month or not a good month to look at, because I don't have a whole year's worth of numbers. I only see expenses as were presented from the council for you folks to run against. And there are some significant savings to be made very quickly. And Donna and I had discussed that. And there are some strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And have they been delineated? Does anybody know what those are? Does anybody know how we can save some of our costs? Is there an opportunity for Farmington, Dover, and Pittsfield to get together to be a buying group to reduce the costs on some of these things? Instead of spending money and sending our manager to Bangor or Augusta to a Sam's Club to purchase things, is there an opportunity to do the business locally and have Buds be the, if they are competitive, we've just saved time, we've saved energy, we've saved money. There are lots of other pieces. So what I would hate to see is a knee-jerk reaction to cutting 2 or 3 nights, and I appreciate that Amber took a look at where those statistics fall. I haven't seen enough numbers. I've only seen 1 month's worth, so I don't know if that's a good picture to work from. So if you have another meeting next week, when's your regular meeting? Is it the end of this month?
Yeah, June 30th.
January 30th?
Yes, I believe
So 2 weeks out.
I think so.
Is that enough time for the,
Yes.
is it still enough time to save some money, but also by having more facts to make your decisions on? I'm just trying to put it out there. I don't want you bleeding. I don't want you bleeding money. I get that. I see the losses. I'm seeing where they're coming from in some respects. I have no idea if throwing in popcorn is a great idea or not. I don't know if $1 night is the right way to go, or it's $2 night, and how many people will you lose by doing $2 night? We don't have good statistics because one of the nights everybody pays the senior rate. So I don't know how many seniors are coming, and is there a way to get them in at 6 o'clock instead of 7:30? There are other ways to tweak this, and I think if you kind of roll out one bigger plan, it might be more acceptable than, all right, we're taking Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday off, and 3 weeks from now we figure out, no, we're gonna add in Tuesday and Wednesday, but we're gonna do it in the afternoon, and we're gonna change Saturday, there's no routine to it. And people like something that they can count on over and over and over. So I just put that out there as a little worry that you're moving maybe a little too quickly to make that change, and we haven't had an opportunity to look at all the facts. So I'm not trying to step on toes.
Yes, Mel?
Just to, and I agree with Mike, 100%, something that I would suggest to the committee is perhaps adding another dollar night. Maybe instead of eliminating, 2 or 3, and I understand totally about the finances and all, but dollar night is the most popular night of the week. Perhaps tap into senior night at the Elks, and then maybe perhaps buddy up maybe $1 a night the same night, or champion the seniors to go for another $1 a night. Say, for example, maybe Sunday afternoon or Sunday evening or whatever. That could be $1 a night.
Welcome table.
Where there's a will is a way.
Yeah.
After welcome table might be a good time to run a matinee. A lot of the people that go to welcome table have limited funds. If we were running something for $1, some of them might be able to come.
And if you bring on another $1 a night, I'm not going to guarantee you, but chances are better than not that you're going to make more money with an additional $1 a night than you would have the other 2 or 3 nights that you charge $4 or $5, to see a movie. To me, that just makes sense. To at least consider, something like that.
I wondered if we should have some kind of coupon, either half off regular admission, wouldn't be valid on $1, or make any night $1 night kind of coupon that we could hand out at senior day and at welcome table and give to all the kids at school, just to get that influx of people like, oh, let's go to the movies. Like, we need 15 people today and another 15 the next day. You know what I mean? And I feel like it would have to be something, it can't be free, you know what I mean? And it can't coupon $1 night, but either, to have a coupon for half off regular admission, or make any day $1 day, or something like that. I feel like it would be a good way for us to hurry up and start getting some butts in seats.
And you just hit it.
We need butts in seats.
You need butts in seats, and you need to have the right time to show the movies, so that you maximize those.
Maximize our stuff. Because one thing about Wednesday, even though I look at Wednesday and I think, well, it made more because there were matinees. The other thing is, Wednesday, school gets out early. It's early release every Wednesday. The matinees that run early. Kids can't go after school. It has to be kids that aren't in school. But if we ran a matinee at 3 or 4 o'clock, our kids have already been out since 2002. And I do think they're going to continue to do that next year. Everybody seems to really, the teachers and stuff seem to really like it. But so our kids, if we're going to be doing a matinee Wednesday, I do think we should consider pushing it back a little bit, because our kids are getting out early from school, and they have that gap time between practices, or if they have a game, because none of the other schools are getting out early. We might be able to squeeze a few extra people in that way too, if we were going to not close those days.
What time do the kids get out?
1:40 on
1:40?
Wednesday, as opposed to 2:40 the rest of the week.
Donna, when you talked to John, did he have any suggestions about closing at all any of these nights? His suggestion was not to? Or you didn't discuss it?
Not really, because he asked how often we're open. I said we're open 7 days a week, and these are our times. And he didn't say anything else about that. I talked to another theater, either last year or the year before. I can't remember when I went down to Damariscotta. I went down to and talked to, I can't remember his name, sorry. And he even said the same thing. It's just about trying to get people in and trying to get the kids back into going. Because again, they were always saying that it's our generation and older that are going.
Another thing about a coupon is we can also incorporate that in with rec, like the kids that are all in rec. We can go hand them all a free coupon. When the pool's open during the summer, we could leave a stack on the desk. Oh, you want to make any day a dollar day? Go. It started raining, go to the theater. You know, I feel like it'd be easy advertisement for,
Yeah.
and it's kind of immediate, like it wouldn't take anything to do that.
And I think those are great ways to get some revenue in. I personally still think that we need to make some cuts. Temporarily, through the winter. That's my personal opinion.
I agree.
Patty, what do you think?
I'm thinking that a couple of days to close the theater would be good. But we were talking about Tuesday and Wednesday, but then if we're trying to tap in the school kids and seniors, that's happening on Wednesday,
Yeah.
so.
Tuesday and
Unless we
Thursday
just
might
only-
be okay, or
Yeah.
something. I don't think we want to lose those people we have coming for Dollar Night.
No.
There's a certain amount of people that check the movie every week to see what's playing on Dollar Night, and they already know they can come on Monday. And they're into the routine. I think we should not mess with Monday. Like, Monday's the best day that we have going. I know it doesn't bring in much in the box office because it's $1, but if everybody's going to spend $3 to $5 on concessions, at least they're in there.
Can I, what, right now, what is the schedule? Is it Monday, is it open 7 days a week?
Yes,
Yes.
it is. No.
Wow. Okay, so Monday is Dollar Night. Okay, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, is it the same admission price?
Yes.
Okay,
Tuesday,
and what-
Wednesday, and Thursday is $3 for seniors.
Okay, so that's
And-
Tuesday, Wednesday, $3?
Thursday, yeah, and Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for $3 for your seniors. Can I back up? Sorry about that. So you have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday is $3 for seniors,
Yeah,
and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, general admission is $5. That's adults and kids are $5. On Sunday is $3 only for anybody.
okay.
Okay, can I just stop everybody right now? We have a time frame, we have an agenda. If you have questions, I did let Mr. Lynch speak, obviously, because I knew he had met with Donna today. And he does have some knowledge of what's going on, and he wasn't necessarily asking questions, he was making a statement. So if you have questions, we have a question and answer towards the end that we're cutting into now. So can we, as a committee, come back together and figure out what we're gonna do? Do you feel comfortable voting tonight? Do you feel comfortable waiting until next week, going home, thinking this over? What do you want to do?
I think, just me personally, I'd like to look at all the numbers, and maybe form one of these committees tonight and get that, and so they can meet as a group and go over the numbers together as a group, and maybe with somebody from the community to kind of show us what we're actually looking at, who
Mhm.
knows what we're looking at, meet with Donna as well.
So
And
you're
then we,
thinking one of these subcommittees
So you
that
want-
you were speaking of
yes,
earlier?
like the finance subcommittee,
Okay.
and we get together, and then we bring a report to next time, so that way we're all better informed about the vote we're making.
So, I'd like to put it open to a vote. I know we're supposed to be formal and say, I second it, all of that kind of thing. We'll get to it, but I don't think that, we'll get to those type of things, but I think tonight's not the night to do it. How many of you are in favor of doing what Jen just said, getting together a subcommittee and looking at the figures before we start hacking away at this?
Definitely. And I'd volunteer for that subcommittee if you'd like.
Okay. Anybody else? Any one of you ladies? Jen? I really think that we should reach out to Rochelle. Varney has offered her time. She's a CPA. She's a smart gal. She loves the community. She'll do nothing but the best for us. I don't know if anybody in the audience would like to be part of that subgroup.
Come on, Mike, put your hand up.
I'm not looking up.
All right, we will reach out. Maybe our network friends can help us there as well, as far as getting a couple of more community members to. I'd love to be on the committee as well. Okay. So there's the three of us.
I'll pick a day to meet.
We got something done.
We'll pick a day to meet and then come up with a report to bring to next.
Are you going to head this?
Yes.
Awesome. All right. So we're going to look at we're going to look at immediate cutbacks. We're going to come back to that. And so we will be putting that on next week's agenda.
That's a report of what we find.
I do like Donna's idea that she got from John about 7 o'clock. I'm just throwing that back out there. So our next business is
Would you want to decide about the coupons so that we can know if we should get that going? We could have them for next week.
well, it kind of is like the filled calendar. I think that's kind of all runs together.
Okay.
The fill the calendar is, I think we can talk about that under that.
Okay.
I got a calendar. I've been begging for a calendar for a long time. I got my own calendar. Donna gave me one last week. It's as big as a bulletin board. Thank you though, Donna. But I urge all of you to get one as well. I write in pencil in it because I know there's going to be a lot of scratching out. So I just kind of started filling in a little bit. I knew that everybody would want to add, so I kind of left personally. I thought pretty much January and February are going to be these meetings, trying to figure out what we're doing, what's going on. So January, I don't have anything necessarily planned, although I did want to kind of just bring it up that at the network meeting I was at, one gentleman did bring up a good idea, and some of them seemed to be like, oh, yeah, that's a good idea, about having a classic movie night. The classic movies, I believe Donna and I kind of spoke, I asked her, they're not a lot of money to rent, are they, or to...
They're not. If you go into public domain, then they're free. You have to find the ones that are in public domain.
And I don't know, we'll just throw it out there that maybe the Wednesday night might be, maybe it would be a different night. But I thought that maybe we should
For the senior citizens.
it could be the senior citizens, it could be anybody. This gentleman wasn't I don't call him a senior citizen at all, but there seems to be some sort of interest in classic movies. And I do have a gentleman's name that maybe might like to be on that part of the committee, to maybe he would like to work with Donna to kind of get some ideas about what might be nice to show. I mean, we don't have anything to lose, I kind of figure. There was a lot of talk about open mic nights. I thought maybe Donna was going to talk to Riff about that.
Yeah, I've been texting him, emailing him. I phoned him today, so I'm trying to reach out to him still.
Yeah.
Wait for his to get back to me.
So,
And I've talked to Barb too. I've
Oh, yeah?
talked to Barb. But she had a procedure, so she wasn't able to come, but she thought the 30th would be good for her.
to come and speak to us?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. She's a gal, Barbara De Niro, in town that has co-chaired the concerts in the park at Hathorne, and she's got a wealth of information about different bands, and thought maybe, I got a lot of contacts now, thought maybe she might be somebody that might guide us a little bit on having periodically. I'd love to see a band once a month, but we'll see how it plays out. Yeah. De Niro, Barbara De Niro, and I'm sure that Donna would give you that information on how to get hold of her if you needed to. So February, and please, anybody wants to fill in, please. I felt like perhaps we should start then talking about policies and whatnot in our meetings. We're going to be talking about budgeting and cutbacks and that kind of thing for the next 2 weeks. Maybe we should start considering policies and what's going on there and how.
I just want to throw this out here, that I fly out here and do not come back until there. So if you are planning a meeting, can we not do it while I'm gone away for the first time in 7 years? It's been a long time.
Wow, that's a nice visit.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. All right.
Extended vacation.
Nice for you. We do need to, if we want to have the Easter Bunny and do an Easter movie for a Sunday afternoon showing, I think we should start then. Because Easter is April 21, so we'd want to do it, we'd want to consider doing it either on the 13th or the 20th. I do know, obviously, the Kiwanis does a big deal at the, and did you go to it last year? Oh man, you gotta go, it's fun. They do their deal. I don't know if we want to.
What are they doing?
Oh, they do the egg hunt.
Oh, a
Pinnacle.
Yes.
That's a Pinnacle.
Yeah. I don't know if we
Great
want,
place to hand out coupons.
That's what I'm saying. If we want to consider doing coupons, $1 off, come see the Easter Bunny, because we can do that.
Yeah.
We could do that right after the egg hunt.
And if we can decide on what we'd like for a coupon, then do you have somebody you typically use to print things?
I use Kelly Printing,
Okay.
and sometimes I can barter with them, and sometimes I cannot. So.
Okay. Because I had tickets printed last year for something that was real cheap, and the person that was sitting next to me, I got him to pay for them. So I think the coupons, if we just decide what we're going to do, then we can pick them out, and I can get somebody to sponsor the printing, I think.
So the coupons are gonna be for $1.
I don't know, what do you think we should do, $1
So
off or $1 any night, or just something to get them there? I think it needs to be either $1, maybe any night, $1 a night, or at least half off. It has to be a good coupon. We want them to show up that first time and get them coming back.
Well, just throwing out an idea. I don't know if it's a worthwhile idea, or what if it was $1 off with a free medium popcorn.
I don't think we should give away anything free that we had to pay for.
Well, the thing is, popcorn is really cheap.
Right.
It might be cheaper than giving away a movie, because we want them paying for that seat. Just a thought.
We want to spend their money on food, though.
You do. You would rather have them spend money on the food than
Well, first
on
we
the
have to
seat?
get them in. You know what I mean? They're not going to come in if they're still paying almost the same price. We're not getting them in at $5. We're not getting them in at $3 a day. I just think $1 off or a small popcorn might not be quite enough
Might
incentive.
not be enough.
I think we need big incentive to start
Yeah,
with.
'cause-
And then when we run out of coupons, we can revisit
Is
it.
this gonna be like a promotional thing, like we put an end date to it? or
Yeah,
how are we
that's
gonna-
what I was
Yeah,
gonna
I-
say.
yeah.
Good.
I'm
Yeah,
we can see
for
it
the
somewhere.
month of such and such, or a 2-week run or something,
Yeah.
but I'm not for an endless.
No.
Cause then I'm just gonna collect these coupons and then keep them in the note.
Okay,
Yeah.
Well,
so
as long as we
can
put an
I,
expiration on them.
Yeah,
Then
so
maybe a
can
couple
I-
of months.
can I propose to our committee that Amber do a little report, a little something for us for next week? Let us know what you come up with, or do you think it's too soon?
Well, I guess I don't know what else you would want to know from me.
what the dates are gonna be, when you think it might be feasible. Is it something you wanna do the end of January? Is it something you wanna do for 2 weeks in February?
I think we should start immediately on that. I think that's the easiest way for us to hurry up and get people coming. I think it will hurry up and get people in the door, and really that is what we need to start happening. We need people there.
What if we,
And if we make the end date too short, we're gonna print these coupons, and we don't want them left over sitting around. I'd rather have things printed once and have a stack of them available through some different things. You know, like maybe make them good for a year, or make them good, you know, through the end of the summer, like whatever school starts back up or something. Like pick a date like that, but not like a month. I think we need them to be.
Well, I don't think it's the only time we need to do it. I mean, if it's successful, I think that perhaps we can do it regularly.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, you know.
Right, but if
we
you
should
print a
have-
date on it, you can't reuse it.
right.
You know what I mean? They would be no good for future
Yeah.
use. We
But
want
for
to
the
just.
first time out though, why don't we try a short run
Yeah.
and see if people come in, like have it end the end of February.
And we print, what, 200? I mean, I think we should have a set amount so we know how many's coming in. And
I think 200 isn't even enough to give them to the school kids. I think we should be laying these suckers down everywhere. The school, I don't know, every kid in school ought to have one. Every kid that's playing at the rec department. We could even talk about going over to schools in Newport or you know, Canaan or different, our surrounding communities. And to give these people an incentive to get here that first time. We need them to come the first time, or else we're not going to get them a second time.
Jerry, do
And
you
they
have a
can't use
comment
it
or a
Monday night.
question?
No Monday night.
Comment.
Well, what's your comment, my friend?
Why don't you just get them with no expiration date and then write it in? Good to.
Yeah.
Thank you,
then you
Jerry.
can file, you know, get a
Good
bunch
idea.
of them.
Thank
and
you,
then
Jerry.
just write it in.
Yeah.
So how many are you looking at, 1,000?
I'm leaning more towards 1,000 than 200. I mean, I think 1,000.
Yeah.
I'll go hand out 1,000, no problem. I just think, what do you guys think about that? I think that right now our dilemma is, well, we have a lot of dilemmas, but one of the major problems is nobody's there. And as long as they're going to be paying at least the $1 of Dollar Night, why aren't we just trying to get them there? We need them to come. Or half off regular admission.
I like that better.
Yeah.
I want them paying something.
Better than $1.
Yeah.
But not
Yeah.
valid
I
on
mean,
Monday.
that's-
Nothing
Right.
can be valid on Monday.
Right.
$1 keeps it
Oh,
out.
just that Dollar Night alone.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, Mr. Difficult speaking again. What I learned today that I didn't know about was the minimum cost of renting a movie of $250 or $300 versus 37% of revenue at the gate. And I think you have a wonderful idea, but you have no idea what it's going to cost us to do this. And until there's an analysis, you are jumping into something. You're giving away 1,000 seats. Yes, that's fantastic. If you're giving away 800 of them to people that can't afford the popcorn, what have we done?
Yeah.
And so, again, not trying to throw water on your decision making, I have reached out to Rochelle, as you have just asked. She said, when is your meeting? She's all fired up to start crunching these numbers. Have the meeting early next week and put a plan together. If you continue to do a shotgun approach without a plan, how do we know when we've met anything? And so, again, love the free flow of ideas, but I think the decision making is a little premature. So that's why I'm difficult in these meetings, because I act upon information that is factual, not on those sorts of things.
We
So
love you being difficult.
I
want the information.
Because I want this thing to be a huge
Yeah.
success, but if we give away the farm and we're
So-
paying for a movie that wiped away any profit, like we did twice in the month of November, I don't know where we win if the people aren't buying anything at the concessions. So there needs to be a way, and again, I have some of the numbers in front of me, but I'm going to ask Donna or whoever to give me every month's statistics for 2018 and even 17 if you could do it. But if you can get them to me for 18, I will get them in the hands of the accountant. They will be crunched in a hurry, and you will have statistics that will tell you this is how many you should give out and for what price and for what night. Those are all easy mathematical equations if we know what we're working with.
Right. And
So,
it's hard
I
to
love
tell
the
what we're
idea.
working with from what.
No,
I think I
absolutely.
have the opposite months of you. I have like January through October. These guys seem to have November through the end of the year. We all just have like bits and pieces to go from so
Right.
far. So maybe we should add the coupon discussion onto our finance subcommittee to talk about and get the ball rolling with Rochelle.
Can I ask Mike a question before you move on? Where did you get the 37% of the gate, Mike? Because we were told last Wednesday, it was 57. And
The number, I don't care.
So
Let me just
I
make
think
sure
it's
I'm
important.
speaking off memory, which has been a long day. Let me find the numbers. 35% payout of the gate.
because we were told 57 last
Well,
time.
again, Donna knows more than I do. I'm looking at a rate from the run of October 31st to November 28th, where the movies had a $250 minimum cost or $300 minimum cost, depending on the movie, and then you paid 35% of the gate to get to that number.
Right.
But you capped out. Am I accurate with how I'm saying that? So that was a 35% number, and that was that month. I don't know what other percentages. This was the November printout that was handed around or was available for the council on January 9th. And so that's why I'm looking for the statistics of every month and to see what those numbers are. Donna knows those because that's what the broker puts together, which I think needs to be a relationship that gets severed soon. Because there's thousands of dollars back into the budget, and we talked about it. And I made Donna very uncomfortable during our meeting. And it wasn't a personal thing, it was making her think, not outside of the box, but outside of the building. Because there are ways that there are thousands of dollars of expenses, and if she frees her time up from sweeping and does the managing aspects, there are benefits to come in lots of directions. She has relationships with people that she can strengthen. She has an opportunity to talk to these folks. I'm a supporter. I want this whole thing to succeed. But I think if I could get those early tomorrow, then I can get them in front of the person that's going to crunch all these numbers. And we're going to know, yes, let's give 1,000 and let's do it at half price. And that'll tell us a lot of these things. But right now, we don't have enough information.
So Donna, are you prepared to get the 2 years that he's looking for?
Or at least last year.
I have both at this point, because I just finished, sorry, just letting you know. I do have December's done,
Perfect.
but then again, I didn't bring them with me.
I can pick them up tomorrow.
I can have everything done for you. I'll print everything off this evening for you.
Perfect.
I'll just have to redo, because when I went to put in December, somehow I didn't save November, the one I just gave you.
Okay.
So I gotta redo that one, but everything else.
Do you need this back?
I don't, I think I have an extra one,
Okay.
so I can just put everything back in I need. And, so I can give you with what you need.
Perfect, and I'll get it to Rochelle and she can start crunching. And if you folks tell me when you've decided on a date or a time, I'll make sure she knows, because again, she wants this thing to succeed also.
And can I just throw something else out there with the percentage rate that you guys have, the 57%? It depends on the film company, and, you know, I think you know from past, right? Because some of them are between 35, it could be 40, it can go all the way up to 67%. It depends on the film company themselves. That's something I don't negotiate. I even talked to John about, I'm getting off topic for your question and answer, Ian, I'm sorry. That was the other thing, I talked to John, because I learned new things that they're not the same that they have been. Everything changes over the years, as we know. And there's no negotiating with them. It's whatever they decide, the film companies decide, that's what it's going to be. Just letting you guys know that also.
Right, so do you,
That has, I don't have control over that.
but do you steer the movies in the direction that has a profit margin if it's something that the community will see?
And that's something that we're gonna wanna know as well, because another thing that I think we're gonna wanna look at in the finance committee and here is getting together a sponsorship packet so we can hurry up and get the community paying for the movies. Lining up a month's worth of sponsors, I could do it in 5 minutes. Like, if I just knew how much that was gonna cost. I mean, are we talking a $300 sponsor, a $500 sponsor? Do I gotta get somebody that's got $1,000 to give? Like, we have no idea. And what that's gonna also entail as far as looking at movies. And when I go hit these people up, am I gonna be able to show them what they can pick from, what week that's gonna be, how much that would cost them to provide that as a community service. But I think that's something we'll have to look at in the finance subcommittee.
Yeah, because that's something I'll have to work with John a little bit, because when I went over and talked to him, and again, I'm getting off from where we are about cutting out the middleman. He told me that he will work with me for a couple of weeks and stuff.
Nice.
And to get things set up. There's a lot more to it than just us or myself going out and doing this. There's a lot of other things that have to happen, and I need to know. That's why I was asking earlier if you want to talk about this, and we decided that we'd do it for the next week or whatever. So I have that all set up to go for next week. I don't have that with me tonight because I wrote everything down, and
Okay.
there was a lot to discuss and figure out exactly when this is going to happen. And I had something, and I was driving at the time, so I didn't have anything to write down. I did have a question for John, and I've lost it now.
Okay,
Now
so
these-
let's get back to,
Quick question of Donna about
Yeah.
the finances. Do you have all on the computer? Is that something you can send, like the monthly reports that you're gonna get for tomorrow? Is that all on your computer?
Mm-hmm.
Is there a way you could email that to me?
I have to print it off and do a PDF through here
Okay.
from the town. Yeah.
Can I come get a copy from you tomorrow, and then I can put it into my computer?
And
Can I come get a copy from you tomorrow? Like a printout copy?
or do you want me to send it to you? Because I can do the PDF to you.
Yeah, that'd be good. Can you do that?
If that works better for you.
That'd be great. Thank
I'm
you.
learning how to do that too.
And these public domain movies, those aren't something you have to go through a broker for.
Exactly. They're the
Okay.
public domain. Anybody can
Okay.
have access to them.
So if somebody wants
Find
to
out what
sponsor
movies
Western Night.
are free.
All you do is put on into the computer and say public domain, and it'll list all kinds of. That's where we did Western at one time, and we got them going. We got serials going to bring people in, and that dwindled off. So.
well, you're always having in any business to
But-
like reinvent yourself all the time.
Yes, so we just have to go into the public domain and see what is available.
Okay, so let's
Or
draw
I will.
ourselves back in, get back on the subjects. So in the month of February, do you want me to go through this? Is this something you guys are feeling it's of value tonight, or?
It might be, like, are we looking to fill the calendar with fundraisers? Are we looking to
Some
fill
of them
it
are regular and
with
some of them are fundraisers.
revenue?
Some of them are just nice community events.
I do think Pete and Steve want to come.
Oh, awesome.
They do definitely want to come. And my first thought was, let's get them in as quick as possible. But then I thought about it, and they might be better off saved until later in the spring and when things are nicer. I don't want to lose what people we might have to bad weather. You know what I mean? We might be better off, where we know that's a concert that can fill the house, we might be better off waiting until it's a little bit nicer
So,
to book them.
what are you thinking?
Well, I don't know, April, May, June.
Who are these people?
The Burnham Boys.
Oh,
They always fill the place. People love them.
Yes. And they love the theater, and they love the town, so.
Yeah.
and what kind of music do they play? And
A little bit of everything.
Lane was part of
Yeah,
it.
they bill
What
themselves
is it?
as rockabilly, which is kind of what it is.
So, I kind of put little tentative things in here. I think maybe we should shoot towards April 5th, as that's the first Friday of the month. And I've got open mic or band night. That is a Friday night.
Well, I
Friday
will.
night, Saturday night.
I don't know.
What if we planned something else for the first Friday of every month?
Well,
As far
that's
as
what I
that
got in
goes.
here.
Yeah?
Well, I got the first Friday of every month is what I had kind of just, like I said, I used pencil because I knew it was gonna be moved around.
You know what I wonder about this, like where Friday's the first, you know, a lot of people get paychecks on the 3rd. I wonder if maybe the second Friday of the month might actually be better,
Yeah.
that people would have that money. I don't know. I mean, first Friday is easier to remember.
Yeah.
But the second Friday, we might have more people with some money after they are out. Because a lot of times, I mean, the first Friday, a lot of times people will have already gotten any kind of, you know, government kind of check, Social Security and stuff, but a lot of people don't get paid till the 3rd on those. So I think if we're gonna do something for the first of the month, we'd want it to be after the people have gotten their pay.
Well, okay, so the Burnham
That would depend
Boys.
on months too, though.
Yeah, the Burnham
Yeah.
Boys, that would actually be, you're right, it's the 5th, so that might work out.
Okay, I will get, and I'll talk to Steve and Pete and see when
So we're
they
gonna
are
start
thinking
planning
of
that
it.
now.
And what day is this?
April 5th,
5th?
5.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, I thought you said February.
No.
And if you do get them, can you let me know and then I can pencil them in the calendar?
Well, yeah, I figured I'd have to get with you to, yes. I will not make any firm commitments until I've gotten with your calendar. And if you have a hard time getting a hold of Rick, just let me know.
Yeah, because I am. I'm just waiting for him to get back.
Okay.
But do you have a better way of contacting him than go for it?
I will send out my bat signal.
Because I don't know if he's on.
So the month of March, one of the things I had penciled in the first Friday, which is the 1st. We may want to look at that. She probably has a very valid point. Maybe we'll want to move everything to the second Friday in the month. But we're going to have to start if we all want to have our spaghetti supper. That we were pretty successful with that last year. It was really yummy. Vittles did a sauce for us. It was excellent. But we need to start planning it because that spaghetti supper was around this date. Not the exact date, but I've got it penciled in for May 10th. I think it might have been May 8th last year or May 12th. I can't remember. May 12th was Mother's Day.
So Vittles made the sauce, you made the spaghetti, and you supplied drinks, coffee, water.
Everything was donated. It was really good.
Who'd you hit for the drinks, Shop and Save?
No, that one I believe, I don't have that information with me tonight because I didn't think we would get into that.
What was that again?
That was Shaw's that did that, the drinks.
Yes. Yep. Everything basically was donated to that.
And was that a cash bar at that, or was the bar not open?
Not open.
I know that the Elks is having a Raise the Roof fund. They're trying to raise money, so it might be something that we might want to do. Is have the bar open.
Okay.
What do you think about that? I mean, we wouldn't necessarily make any money on the bar.
I don't know
But
that
when, I
that's
think
a nice-
spaghetti dinner, it doesn't really matter. Like
Right.
if we were serving a
I
steak
actually-
and you want a drink, it's.
I actually did have one night that, I'll get to it, that I had, so that was for March. Again, I have open mic night, I've got a classic Wednesdays, I didn't know, maybe we might want to consider doing Classic Wednesdays twice a month, not every Wednesday, maybe twice a month. April, again, an open mic, a band, we're talking the Burnham Boys now, which is awesome.
I don't know if they're available in April though, I mean, I have to.
We'll find out.
Yeah, I'll talk to them.
So pencil them in.
I think we should stick with entertainment that doesn't cost us any money. You know, I think that when we're looking at these fundraiser things, we should look at people that want to come and that we're not gonna have to shell out a bunch of money for up front. Because we don't wanna pay a bunch of money for a band and have 10 people show up, you know? If we can
Well, there's
get
also ways
Rick
to
donate
do
this
that.
time
We
and
can,
Get those sponsors.
get the band.
get it sponsored, get the band to, you know, yeah.
I think we do have a lot of local talent that would like to do things and that would be happy to come in for free if we just get that together.
Like a Pittsfield's got talent night.
Yeah.
April, again, the Classic Wednesdays, if we choose to do that, just a thought, open mic, band night. We really should start planning on if and what we're gonna do for the Egg Festival. I kind of penciled that in for the 24th. I also would like to, that night, have Jason Perkins, he's in the back row over there tonight, come and do a talk for us. He has something that he can do for us in October. We're kind of hoping maybe that might be a good time. He makes movies. He's a local movie maker, producer, and I would love for him to come and talk to us. They do horror type movies, am I right, Jason?
Yeah, mostly horror. This summer we're stretching out to our first feature-length comedy.
Oh.
The horror we've done to show what we can do.
Yeah.
And actually, speaking of October, that's a movie that we're filming right now. We'll have that ready. It's a Halloween themed movie called Night of the Wicked. Right now, we have one that we just released on Blu-ray called Sleep Eaters that we'd like to donate to the theater to show for free, and all money that comes in goes to the theater. And we also have resources around the state to maybe do a once a month independent film night where local movie makers will donate their movie to the theater for the night to help bring in money without having to spend money on a movie. We also have the ability to do questions and answers with the cast and crew of the movies afterwards, which is something that would bring people in, I think. So it's something I want to bring to the attention of the committee, and we're out there doing it, and there's more than enough of us that are willing to help save the theater in that respect.
Thank you.
So he and I were talking, we got connected at the networking meeting, and we were hoping to kind of do a Halloween type thing. So
There are some other people from town who have some movies out too.
Very cool.
Yes, Gabe Crate. You know him? He has a movie out now.
No.
I'll just look into that.
I think it'd
You
be
must
great
know.
to have an independent movie night.
Sounds, yeah.
So again, May 10th, spaghetti supper. Any of you have an idea and you want to fill in, we can add it to the agenda when it gets closer.
Is there entertainment at the spaghetti dinner?
There
Or
is not
it's
this
just
last
spaghetti
year.
dinner?
We did a really nice spaghetti dinner. I was kind of going to put it out there that in June we start planning a say goodbye to summer. No, say goodbye to summer. It's only June barbecue. And if we planned it in time, kind of hoping that maybe we would do it September 7th. Maybe we would consider having a band and a dance afterwards. Just
Maybe
throwing
we
it
could
out.
partner with some of the farms in town and have
Yeah.
it be a farm to table kind of thing.
This is the weekend of the Clinton Fair.
Oh, is it?
Oh.
It is.
Okay. We don't wanna do
The
that.
first weekend after Labor Day.
Thank you.
Yes.
End of summer, harvest,
So maybe the following week,
Something.
the 14th?
Say goodbye to summer or something.
Yeah.
Still nice weather, so.
Yeah.
So anyways.
The other thing I questioned is, I know we're closed during Egg Festival week, and it used to be because of the pageant and stuff. How do we feel like that? Because Egg Festival week is probably the biggest week of the year for out-of-towners returning to Pittsfield. And I just wonder if, I don't know if that's something that we can capitalize on a little bit more. Everybody's busy that week, so I mean, maybe we wouldn't want a movie that we're paying a lot for, but maybe the Historical Society has something they can show, or something like that.
Well, it being the bicentennial.
Right, and having concessions open during window painting. Do you know how much I would have bought there in the last 3 years? And you can send your kid in to get a drink at the movie theater. I can't send her up to Dice Arts, crossing that street and stuff. The movie theater's right by where the kids get to paint.
Donna, did you have something you wanted to add?
We had, in the past, had different things go on at the theater while that was going on. And what we've done, we had a band at one point and gave out a coupon for the bonnet, so that when you go down to get a refreshment or something to eat, that you have that coupon to take down with you to spend down there. Well, we had the band going on. So there's different things that you can do.
Was it a success?
Yes.
The work?
Yeah, we had,
Okay.
but yes, I believe we had quite a few people that came to that, and then they used the coupon to go down to use it there.
Because I think especially too, if it's 110 degrees out, I mean, you're there window painting, kiddie parade doesn't start till 6, you have that gap in the afternoon where you want to go sit in air conditioning and relax a little bit. So if we can just, I mean, even if we don't show something, just having the concession stand open.
Well, it's not saying that, I don't know these classics. Just what is considered a classic is like Back to the Future considered a classic. I mean, that might be something that would.
Yeah, it's older.
Way further back.
But it might be something that
Right.
I didn't know. I'm kind of trying to think about one that doesn't
during the
cost
open house.
a lot.
We do that during the open house.
I really wondered about the Historical Society, if they had some kind of Pittsfield movie. Or like we used to have Moseying with Clum. Remember when there was WMCI TV and we had Moseying with Clum? Did anybody watch that but me?
I did.
I watched it. I loved it. Do they have those on tape? Just things that maybe we could have showing while the concession stand's open, just so people coming in and out can sit and maybe see it for a minute. Because I feel like the open house you don't have a lot of attendance at, right? So maybe in part, instead of just open house, we could be showing something that day that people could come in and out, not really have to commit to.
I have cartoons going on or something for the kids.
Yep.
Yeah, so the people go in and out.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Grom. He's on the Historical Society.
Yeah.
Let's
See
if
what
they
he's
have-
got. Like if we can just have some history of Pittsfield playing. I had a birthday party for my dad, and we brought in a big screen with all the old movies that had been digitized from when they were all young, and it didn't even have sound, and it didn't matter. Like the whole party was watching that TV.
The Bicentennial Committee is putting together the calendar now, and it would be nice if the theater sponsored or put together the wherewithal to put on a historical show of some sort.
Right.
Basically, if we have a project manager, we have a project. We do have funds to help people along with their projects. What we don't have is the people with the the idea and the stick-to-itiveness to do these things.
Yes.
I was talking to him last night. What about like a safe haven for the kids? I know some of the parents work late and they get out of school, like they go to the library and hang out down there.
Yeah.
Like play cartoons during the day for them.
I think that that's a great idea, and I think maybe that's something that, a suggestion that the network might like, that they could incorporate. They're going to have a whole bunch of suggestions, I suspect, for us, and I think that's one of them that might really be great. We need to draw this meeting back in. I think that we probably discussed enough about the calendar. We're kind of, are we in agreement in the next month we're going to be working on financing and budgets and that kind of thing, and that we're not going to try to do it.
I was going to say, hopefully we're going to be real productive in the next week.
We
Not so much
have to bring
the
it to the
month,
council. We have a lot of
Yes.
stuff to do. So
So-
we really don't have any time for any filling a calendar at this point.
So-
We just touch base on what maybe we might do in the future.
So my thinking is, having this other like fundraising committee,
Mhm.
subcommittee,
Mhm.
and having people come together in that group, bring a bunch of ideas, and then sit down and say, okay, this is how much it's going to cost us to put this thing on. Can we get sponsors for this? How much return are we going to get? And what are those funds going to go for? Because if we just do a bunch of fundraisers and we don't know like what it's for, like if we do a
Agreed.
fundraiser and this money is going to go to fix our roof, I think people would be more, they know where their money's going, so they might be more invested in it.
Yep.
So if we can get a couple of us to commit to a little group.
One of the fundraisers we did, we gave out pamphlets that had a list of the things that needed to be done in the theater, like the roof and different things, so that people could see what their money was going towards.
Because I do think at this point, any funds that we bring in right now aren't really necessarily going to the roof, they're really going into like a general operating budget, right? I mean, I don't really.
That's how I
Is-
feel
Is that
right
from
now.
the fundraising part of it, or that's just like the general?
I think we're
operations
gonna
are
need
going
all
into
of it.
All of it?
For the first,
I think for the,
because we need to make sure that this money that they have allocated us from the town council budget goes us twice as long.
Yeah.
You know,
So
that money
that's
has to last us twice as
What
long.
we need to plan out and make a business plan. And say,
Yeah.
this is what we have, this is how much it's gonna cost each week, this is how we can format it to stretch it. I
Right.
think that's where we need help from.
Yes, get with Rochelle.
Yes.
I'm so excited. that
so
she-
at this point, I guess, does anybody have any questions?
I've taken a lot of notes, so
Good.
I've been quiet the whole time. Just a request, please, when you're referring to people that you spoke to or talked to, just for the audience, is kind of a little helpful. If, like John at the Farmington Theater, is John the same John? Does he do the Farmington Theater, the Skowhegan Theater? Because the Skowhegan Theater, the gentleman was doing 3 different theaters. The Strand Theater was in 3 different locations. So John, I don't know, it's just a recommendation. It would be helpful to the people in the audience to have kind of last name. So if I want to go home and do some research and see some things that I think might be helpful to bring back here, that I would know what direction I'm heading in, who I might be dealing with. That was just a recommendation, please. And then going down through a few of the things that have been stated, I think it's great. I think Mike's on target, and I'm sorry, Jen, I think that's where I think that from what I understood watching online the town council meeting last night, is they're looking for you to stretch those dollars. You need to address that first. I'm having listened to a couple of town council meetings and also attending here and being on several of the committees years past. I'm a little bit confused. So I get you've got to rein your budget in, you've got to stretch it, you've got to figure out where you can cut corners, and you're going to hold some fundraisers to do that. I think that needs to be, if you're selling something, and this sounds horrible, most people are more than willing to give, but if you're selling something, if you came up to me and said, we're doing a fundraiser, I'm thinking fundraiser for fixing the building. I'm not thinking fundraiser to someone's operating budget. That sits a little differently with me. And forgive me for saying that, I guess it's but that's how I view that. So I think that needs to be very clear. And when you're speaking of these subcommittees, and this would be a Rochelle thing, I've worked with Rochelle before, and are you keeping two separate budgets? Are you keeping two separate accounts? When we were doing the fundraising committee, we had our own. I kept the ledger, I would get tied out, I had to tie it out, I wanted to know if something wasn't right, where the accounting was wrong on that. Separate from the operating budget, that was Donner's and the town manager's deal. I wanted to see my own fundraising account. When I turned it in the town office, I wanted to see, I wanted reports that it matched what the
Donna, do you
fundraising
have an
committee.
answer for her on that?
Are you still maintaining any kind of separate? Or when you ladies had your spaghetti supper, did it go in an operating budget? Do you know?
That went into the fundraising budget.
Okay, so you
Yes.
are keeping
Yes.
separate?
Yes.
Are you actually have a separate account, or you're just
Yes,
trying to
no.
separate them on?
No, they're into two different accounts.
Okay, all right, so you still.
So it's still there, that way that you had it set up, it's still there.
So when you speak, and I understand, yes, you want to draw all the people in for free that you can as far as your entertainment. Will you do this? Will you do this for us? Can you give us your time for nothing? Keeping in mind, if you have a separate fundraising account already, you're not taking away from her operating budget. You have funds to go out there and use, to spend a little bit. We can't give you, Mike can't give you your $300 to come sing us a tune or two, but we come for 100. We got 100 right there. You gotta spend a little sometimes to make more. And you gotta, yeah, it's nice, all the little things, but sometimes you gotta throw out a big wow factor to people. Just, that's my thought there. My second or third, fourth, whatever I'm on now, I think you need to look at a calendar of all other committees, what they are fundraising for, what they are holding, what things are taking place, and maybe you have. It's just, when you're scheduling something, and we've done this in the past, it's experience, we have scheduled something only to find out 2 or 3 other things are happening at the same time. We're in it knee deep. We made through, we made a little money by the skin of our teeth, but, you know.
Too many things going on in town.
Exactly, so you need a town calendar. You need to know what committees are out there, who is doing different events. You need that in front of you. You need to know what the Elks are doing. You want to know what the Pinnacle might be doing, what the schools are doing, what the games are. For me, when you're looking at your calendar, making your plans, you should have all these little
I
things
think it's good advice.
bulleted in.
And I think from experience, you know.
I would tap into, talk to the people that are doing the depot fundraising or whatever they're doing. I talked to my daughter-in-law last night, Ben and Natalia Hall, are both on the Pinnacle. They went from a very small account. They are doing wonderful. They just went in and painted up a storm, got some adults all weekend long, just made some great renovations to that, nothing major, you know. So I think you need to talk to the Elks, the welcome table, because you have your theater committee, you've got an egg festival committee, you've got the bicentennial, local sports boosters. There's just all kinds of, instead of everyone everywhere, take a moment, pick 2 or 3 of the leaders from each of those, gather up and say, okay, we've all done our little spaghetti dinners. How about we all group together and just do this wow factor in town? Whether it be during the summer, during the Egg Festival. I think the theater should be open during the Egg Festival. Put a little drawing out in the door. Open the doors. Get a little popcorn. Get some water. Take a tour. Call it the tour of the theater. Help save our theater. That's what we did. We had Glenn Wheaton, God rest his soul, and he sat in the lobby. He had a blast. All we did was give a tour. This is our theater. This is the condition it's in. We're trying to save this. Had a little raffle, made a little money on the side, cost nothing. You don't heat it in the summer, so you're not really opening your door. These are just all kinds of, there's so many ideas. This is a big year for us. It's you know, group together and tap into all of these. So I think I'll turn the page. So yeah, I guess it's all, I said, looking at committees' calendars. I think a lot of it has been tabled at this time. Some of my questions and things on some of the other things you were bringing up until you get the financials looked at a little closer. So I think I'll end there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We appreciate that. So for our agenda next time, we're going to have Donna speak to us about her meeting with John.
From Narrow Gauge Cinema. I'll try to find his last name. It's John from Narrow Gauge Cinema. And he just owns that now.
And we're gonna have, you're gonna hopefully kind of talk to the Burnham boys, find out what's good for them.
The other person I talked to a girl with the Levi Stewart Theater, but, and they used to sometimes come with their traveling show. They do one traveling show a year. I think I'm gonna go actually sit in, hopefully soon, probably not by the end of January, but hopefully gonna go sit in on one of their theater committee meetings. I don't think they have a traveling show planned for this year, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's out of the question. It depends on what they're doing, what their set is, what their stuff is. But they did just put out their yearly calendar, so I do feel like we're a little bit behind the 8 ball on that one.
Do we want to add any other things to the agenda?
We're working on this meeting to figure out when we're going to meet.
So we'll have some sort of report to,
We need to pick who's the
okay,
secretary.
Yes,
who's the-
yeah, so we're gonna go home, we're gonna read
Officers,
over
yeah.
our,
Can I say something briefly? I don't know if you've closed out the audience speaking, but I had a couple of things quick. I've been to 4 of these meetings now, and I've heard some great stuff, and some that's really caught my attention right away. And I want to name Mike and Milt, and if I'm saying something inaccurate, stop me. But they both talked about sponsorship. Milt was at the meeting Saturday. Milt goes to every football game. He's a townie. He wants to do something. Let's do it now. Mike talked about sponsorship. He talked about he's sponsored at the hospital, different things. Let's get these sponsorships now. I'd like to sponsor a week. And I know there's a lot of people and a lot of businesses in town that would do that. And if it saves you $300 a week, do it now.
I think, Scott, that's in the works. It just hasn't been,
We
Right.
have to
Able
go
to
over the
do it
financials
this
to
week.
find what
Right.
the
But you're already
overall.
halfway
Overall
through
works.
January, and you may only have till the end of June, and it will come quickly.
But we don't know what to charge for that yet until we've gone over the
Well,
bookwork.
if Donna's saying it's $250 to $300.
That's just the cost. That doesn't factor in the labor, the heating, the building,
Oh, right.
any
but-
of that.
But that's gonna save the town spending that money. You're still gonna run, you're still gonna charge for tickets and do everything else,
it's
right?
in the
We wouldn't
works.
have to pay for the movie then.
No.
Right.
The sponsor
Right,
would do
the
that.
sponsor's gonna lower your expenses, and if they wanna do the advertising for it, or not, I don't think Milt can go either way with that. But then you're saving
If
that
you're
money
gonna
right
call
away.
Scott, we'll take $300
Sure.
right now.
Yeah.
And
People would do
you
it.
can sponsor next week.
People
The
will
thing
do
with
it,
the
yeah.
sponsorship packets that I personally, and I don't mind pounding the pavement, getting the sponsors, it doesn't bother me one bit. We've got to know what it costs us to be there with people open in the building to know an overall cost. Because I know, like,
No,
somebody
I'm
might.
not saying that. That. I don't think that has anything to do with it. If someone's willing to donate anything, take it right away. You don't have a lot of time.
We've not said no to a donation, have we?
Right.
No. But we don't know the overall cost until we sit with the accountant this week, and then hopefully by our next meeting, we will know what a sponsorship would look like as far as covering the total cost. Because somebody might want to sponsor just the movie, somebody else might want to sponsor the whole town coming to the movie. You know, we need an overall cost for if somebody says, I want to give you $1,000, I want free admission all week. I mean, we just need to know what that costs before we can go out and solicit the the sponsors, you know what I mean? Because I'm with you.
I
want the
appreciate
money
you
ASAP,
saying,
too.
Scott, and it's in the works, it's coming. We don't wanna make the mistake of having it too low and then wish that we had maybe done a different price.
But anything
It's
that you
coming.
get is gonna help you, because you still have to pay for the week.
Anybody
Any-
is welcome to give money
Right.
anytime.
Right.
We will not turn down anybody's money.
Donation jar right at the.
And another thing, I know people talk about are memberships, and there are 450 members about on the Action Network, and people are out of state, and they all kind of say the same thing. What can I do to help? I mean, I think people are ready to go, and you
Yeah,
need
but we
money.
can't do it, Scott, until we are ready to have an intelligent.
The other thing is we need to be able to take payments on the website, and that is in the works. As far as taking credit cards at the movie theater, being able
Yeah, we're
to
way
take.
behind the times. To not have a debit card machine in town is ridiculous.
I understand
No,
that,
that's
but
like I was
behind.
really,
there's nothing we can do about
really
that.
happily surprised to hear
Yeah.
we're gonna
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah, but we can't really open a membership and solicit people from out of state, which I think is a great idea, and I think we need to be working on it as soon as possible. But it's really not feasible to do that until we have a way of accepting payment online. You know,
All your ideas are great, and we are going to, I understand what you're saying.
And one last thing, Don, do we still have the theater renovation account? Is that still active?
The renovation, I think, is also part of the fundraising part.
Slash fundraising.
But is there an actual, it mentions in the town report about a theater renovation account. Is there such a thing?
Yes.
and there's money in it,
How much money is in it?
Sorry.
but is there anything in it?
What's in it?
Yes. Right off the top of my head, I don't know, but I can find out for you.
$1,000, $100,000?
No,
What's in it?
I'm sorry.
Excuse me, are you,
Can I,
so is the renovation account what we started, that is the fundraising account, okay. It was a fundraising account there, okay, renovation account. We pretty much depleted that. Again, going back, and you girls have done some wonderful things since then. It was pretty much, Scott, I would be curious as to what Donna comes out with a figure, given the fact that there's been some other events done since then. It was pretty much depleted at the time because we did the projector, the whole projector
Right.
system. And that was to the tune of almost 100, close to 100,000, I think, something like that. So,
can I
and
get
then-
back to you on that,
Sure.
Scott, please? Because I think that's something that they need to have also.
Right.
Yeah, we need to kind of know if we get something to start with.
So my other, so Donna, you're looking at cutting out the middleman, which is it's a big savings, and it would be an immediate savings.
Yeah.
You're looking at that, okay.
Yes.
And forgive me, this is not an attack or an insult or meant to be anything of those. If you're like me, technology nowadays, I'm just immediately intimidated, struggle a little bit with it. So are you gonna be having good support for that, to help you through that? And are you comfortable?
I will through John.
Okay.
Him and I are gonna be working together, and
Okay.
I'm hoping if I need more, that he'll be
So-
able to guide me a little bit.
And going back there, to obviously until the financials are done, no set days have been decided on cutting. Do you actually work 7 days a week? You yourself?
I work 5. I take
Work.
Saturday and
Okay.
Sunday off.
Okay, so, all right, so with the possibility that depending on financials and what the committee will determine your new schedule if there is to be one. And that will free up you for these professional development types of things and spending more time on researching and helping these ladies research things. Oh, okay, thank you.
Do we have anything else that we want to put on our agenda?
What else
Yes,
do
I'm
you
done.
use?
What was that, Maria? Sorry, you're over on my blind side.
Yeah. With the money about wanting to talk about people sponsoring things, if we look at what we have for last year's for the budget and everything and what we had for deficit, it's coming out to about $1,000 a month. So if we took in $300 a week, that's more than the $1,000 a month and that deficit is including everything that runs the building. That's what that total is, because as of November, it was $12,000. And that's just going by the paperwork that Donna gives us every time for the monthly.
Well, it's gotta be more of a deficit than that, or it wouldn't be a $90,000 in the hole.
It can't be. I mean, it's just not, from what we've got, it's just the $12,000 as of November last year. So it's
The
not a
90.
90,000. I don't know where the 90 came from.
Town manager.
And that's a
The town
manager.
budget? So you don't think the theater, you think the theater only came out $12,000 in the hole last year?
Probably about 15.
No,
Including payroll costs, heating the building, all of that?
no. All right.
Because I think if that's the case, we don't even have a problem.
I know you guys in the audience do not have this.
I don't think that's the
Okay.
case.
Right, because this is what I go over with the committee, well, I did, until they changed everything.
Oh.
You guys do not have them either. This is from, when is this one?
That one's October. I got one here August, September.
Right, so every month, and you notice, I did not bring again, because I was told to bring it for January 30th, okay? I have to do one of these out for the council every month, and it tells what our expenditures were, how the movies were down, what our revenue we brought in. And this is what Mike is asking. On this, and I'll pass this one around, so you kind of have a rough idea. This here is broke down by attendance, what the concession brought in, and what the box office brought in for that, and it's broke down by days and by what movie. And if it was a PG movie, if it was an R-rated, if it was PG-13 movie, everything is broke down. So on here, I'm just hoping I'm not getting sick. I gotta put my glasses on, sorry. So it's broken down monthly for our budget, and it tells you what our budget is listed at. It's at $130,951 is my budget for 2018. Our monthly expenditures, it tells you it's broken down. It's probably not broken down so that you guys would understand, because it's also into our budget that I hand out at the beginning of the year to my committee members. I have not done that this year because I haven't got what my budget is. So in here, it would break down what our monthly expenditures are, and it will total. And then it will tell you year-to-date where it's at, how much is left in the budget. And then down here it says what our expense was for that month was $11,164.12. For the revenue that we collected was $4,337.80. The profit loss was $4,251.71 is what we lost between the budget and what we brought in.
Just for that 1 month?
Just for that 1 month.
Right, you lost that.
And that was good, because other months you lost a lot more than that.
Yes.
That was a good loss.
Exactly. But, and this is what I've been trying to let my people know that I needed help with, and how are we going to bring this up to meet what we're spending out. And I appreciate everything that everybody is doing and helping out. Is your
Okay.
next one?
Yes.
Do you
So-
want to look at this first and pass this
Sure.
around so that everybody else has an idea? See, this is what Mike is asking for, and what Rochelle is asking.
Now, I did want to throw out there too, is that we've had comments about a lot of people are willing to volunteer. Where would they go and tell someone they wanted to volunteer? Would it have to go through the committee? Does it have to go through Donna?
That depends.
Secretary. Yeah.
You know, because if we had volunteers to work at the theater, then we could cut down on expense of employees.
I had that
So
thought
let's
as
stay
well.
open. Then you can stay open the rest of the week. if
The
you feel like
resistance I got with that was letting volunteers in, dealing with money.
Situations, yeah. 'Cause
But
it was brought up last week.
you know what? Volunteers staff the Pinnacle. Volunteers do the concessions at the Waterville Opera House. I I don't see
It
that as
depends
a
on
big
who you're
problem.
getting, you know?
Right.
I mean, and
You
that's the
just have to
thing.
make
That's-
sure that.
You have to
That's
have a
how I
regular
started
pool
there.
of people that you trust.
Right.
You have to be careful of volunteers too, if they get hurt.
Yes, they have to, they have to sign off on a waiver.
Right.
You just can't have, you
Right.
have to
They
be really
have-
careful that someone gets burned on the popcorn machine, big trouble. I was an insurance investigator. You just have everyone come in who wants to volunteer. That's a no-no. It's gotta be on your policy, you've gotta approve it later.
But they
you know,
have,
insurance.
you have something for volunteers now, right?
To sign, they have
Right.
to sign.
I think Rochelle Barney may help you do that because we're bonded at the school, because we handle the money.
Right.
So I'm bonded. If I'm walking uptown, something happens to me and I drop,
Well, that's the way.
Yeah.
that month's tuition, from all the kids.
Right.
And, yeah, so Rochelle will, I think,
Know more
be able
about
to-
that.
Well, she was our
Because I
auditor,
know I am
so
going that way, that's
she'll be
why
able
with
to
any
tell
of the
you
money from the
a little about
fundraising
that.
to, like you, it has to go through
You're
me to
bonded.
bring to the town.
Okay, I'm gonna haul everybody back in because we're getting a lot like we've been doing for the last, 10 or 12 years. This. We've got an agenda. We're over 20 minutes on our agenda. Again, if you have questions, feel free to pop in and visit Donna, or there
And
is
if I
an
don't have the
email
answers,
on
I
the
can
website.
get them for you.
You're free to come to the meetings, we love it, but we need to stick to what we're doing, otherwise we're never going to get any items done. Do we have anything else that needs to go on next week's agenda?
So we just have, Donna's gonna talk about that, Amber's gonna check out about the Vernon Boys, and our finance committee's gonna
Bring a report. That sounds like a good meeting.
I have one random question too. You already had a Valentine's basket all made up?
No.
Is that, oh, okay. Because I just had the random
No.
thought that if you had that made up, we might as well raffle it off.
Oh, no.
Are we ready to adjourn this
Right.
meeting?
So is the meeting next week or the 30th?
Both.
Both.
Can you do it, honey? Thank you so much, and I do want to say, thank you, Donna. You have had a tough couple of weeks, and we appreciate everything that you do. And I know it's gonna be a lot of work for you, it's gonna be a lot of work for all of us, but we got some great people behind us, and it's gonna be okay.
Just want to throw out there too, because I don't know if you all were here, we do have an opening on our committee. I will put it out on our Facebook page, on our website, and
Where would somebody get this,
I'm all set.
they have to go to the town office. and
the
talk to-
application
Yeah,
to apply to be on the committee? Okay? We're done for
you'll have to
tonight?
go see the town clerk, and she'll be able to help you. with-
Thanks, guys.
Come on, Jerry.
Maria, we didn't get a copy of that whole appraisal thing that was done.
Catherine gave it to her.
To the committee?
Yeah.
To the theater committee?
Yeah, so we all have one.
Wait a minute, I don't have
young
anything.
people.
I thought I was looking at
now.
theater committee
She
package
will,
tonight.
she will.
That's just
So that is,
Night, Mel.
Oh, I was just curious. I was
so
sure the one that.
the stars, I don't know, but the theater committee package comes from, not the theater committee, they come from
Catherine?
And she didn't know we were coming ahead of time, I believe she did.
She had to be on vacation.
Oh, yeah, but, I mean, when we talked about it last time, that she put her packets together to leave us for the next meeting.
When you're ready to have me come in, hit me about a week ahead of time, and I'll have the owner of Cemetery Theater with me.
Oh, cool.
So,
I think you're gonna be a great resource, thank you.
yeah, we have a huge outreach, and not just with movies, but as well as like bringing comedians in for an open mic, or improv guys to come in and do a show for a night. I
We
have
have
a
to
huge
vote about
outreach.
everyone about
Thank
that.
you.
Let's see if we're gonna take it.
Subject?
On the committee,
Respond to the person.
Thank you.
I'll consider it, but it's nothing I've ever done before.
Well,
That's the first time for everything.
Yeah.
But if there's anything you guys need, you know, feel free to reach out.
None of us know because there aren't any
Well,
actual written
do
policies.
we get
We don't
together
have.
and
Today's my first
Because
time.
everybody thinks, right, that's it, so it's like anybody who wants to donate, don't send a check, because they're not set up. Give it down, put up here, and it will go right in there. Because people are, they're ready now, pay them now while they're all paid out. Out of state, how do I help?
We do, but it's like-
I'm just telling you, this is all we can suggest for now. Right, you know, I would come here because everyone is ready, get them there. While they're saying, what can I give?
You don't take it.
Exactly, yep.
Bills, but it's gonna save money.
And I've always wondered,
Next
how come the
Wednesday,
committee only
Day's on,
minutes
and
made
then
up
Wednesday
of
Guess so. I think it's really like the last one.
Yeah, it's just whether an emergency state.
No, and we also got part Catherine, it was about the Lever Foundation, because we were trying to get the theater to be
Oh,
I
I just figured everybody uses it,
Yeah.
and a lot of people try to raise money for it.
I need to know.
I just,
Mike, isn't that what you said last night?
I already did on my list. Already, because not, it has to go to the meeting, we need to film something. And then,
I don't think so. The remodel was done in such a way, right, that it can't be a historic building anymore. You've been in there lately with the stuff in the middle of the.
Hi.
That's what supports the roof now.
Yeah. Came up with that.
Nicole.
I'm sure it had to be done.
So what, yeah, so when I go through that,
Yeah, I
Which
think
is
I
a smart
have
man.
And you have the packet that was handed out, right? Yeah, so this is the town ordinance of what the theater committee is, starting at section 1600. Okay.
But this isn't the theater committee, just this part.
And
If
the
we
one
had to
thing I
look
saw
up separate,
online
it
I was
says
gonna ask
that.
about,
Yeah, I have
is
it.
Friday night still considered the kids' night?
No, not anymore.
And get ready to order something, you just look at that.
Right.
It's right
there.
And you're
They open for that.
I wouldn't, I don't think the theater would not typically be open because they are closed during a festival week.
Because like that night, you know, kids dancing on the street and stuff.
Part of the town ordinance.
Well, we had a table over there at the street there.
And I bought caramel apples. Who makes the caramel apples? That's what I bought one everywhere I went.
The town council is supposed to appoint how it's going to be organized, so we, the chairman, and vice chairman.
It should have been taken out.
When it says,
So when it switched over.
3 years.
3 years, so no more than 6 years.
Unless you didn't expire, you know, like I'm on here for a year. Right now, I'm filling somebody's expired term for a year, so then in theory,
It's on the
it's.
library, which we film, say,
So once a month, that would be full time, we're over here, like looking at our new system, doing, yeah. And
No, this
I
is
guess-
something that I have.
Oh, yeah, but our agenda is
Yeah, get ready to go, I don't know.
This just describes what
Send me this, send me that, but you know how to run it.
So when we.
Okay, so you have Maria, basically. I mean, to help you out, to kind of like be a little brainstorm together, you get caught in a snag and.
I think we need to figure out when we're getting together with Rochelle.
Yeah.
Do
Do you want to contact her and see what's best?
Yeah. I don't have her information. Do you have her information?
I can get her.
So you don't want to break this off
Wait
until
I
And you want to do it.
The other three.
Do you want, you can have this.
And I have both of them on taking. Okay, well, maybe drive yourself insane.
What are you saying?
I don't know if he's, because it sounds like he's talking to Rochelle a lot, or see what way he wants us to go about that.
Good. Everybody have a wonderful evening.
See you later, have a good night. It might not be
Nice to have guys again on Saturday.
Yeah, like I said, we have speakers ready to go.
I can,
You can actually
the
get
day
it
before
at the
next
library. I have
So we need to
donated a DVD.
Right, with the day
It's adult
So we'll
stuff,
need to come up with whatever.
but it is a
for
man-made
the town
movie.
council immediate
We're
stuff.
working on one now that we hope to
So-
have out. Well, it's gonna be out by Halloween because it's a Halloween themed movie. We have the turd lady.
Bring it
Is
now.
coming to do.
Yes, I know who it is. Yeah, I'm not really
Lady
available. Do you know
Birdie
who that is?
is
I work
gonna
all
be in it.
weekend.
If I'm
The
following.
rooster.
Starting Friday, I
Oh,
work 8
yeah.
hours,
Yes.
or
Yeah.
9 hours Friday, 9
She's
hours
making a
Saturday, I'm
cameo
back on
appearance.
from
We
6 to
have,
2 on Sunday.
Birdie,
Okay.
the Martin's lady.
I'm available
Okay.
Sunday
Yeah.
afternoons, usually I'm pretty available for a nap by then. And I pick my daughter back up, but really, I'm more available during the week.
So we have some big
Um,
things, I mean, backing us. We put on a call for a warehouse about a month and a half ago.
I work
And
Friday,
Stephen
Saturday,
came
Sunday.
through,
I have this Sunday off, but it says Mabel has
I
a
said
Sunday.
I
and we're getting to be
Right.
known, and we'd like to help maybe Pittsfield
Monday's
could be
Martin
the
Luther King.
center for
We
anything.
raised money for.
Cheering.
Awesome.
Cheering Saturday, cheering showcase on Sunday.
They would love to donate the movie just to have their film shown.
Okay.
And have them do a
I know I can show them if you go to the right
Oh, yeah.
Tony Bennett, not the singer of.
Yeah.
Monday's a holiday.
The casting crew, they got rid of the show.
Wednesday during the
I have a
day,
partner,
you know, Wednesday
Shane
before the
Barrett.
meeting.
He's got a huge outreach all over the state of filmmakers that they could.
What about tomorrow? That's what I'm gonna say, I got nothing on tomorrow.
I haven't done
I don't know
anything
exactly how many
11:45.
he's
The
got.
rest of my days
Okay.
are
Well, maybe, we can try to see if maybe Mike and Rochelle are available
And he's
tomorrow
already
afternoon
said that they were
after.
jumping at the chance to get their
Paralyzed, he
stuff.
has to have
Okay.
full rods and
Because
stuff.
I don't know.
So his insurance doesn't cover
Yeah.
for wheelchairs, so we have the big, action shack
Yeah,
chair.
I've never joined one, I don't know
I
anything
haven't
about
been
it.
able to
Raised,
tomorrow.
it was over $10,000.
However, we do
Yeah.
own
It's
all
really
the rights to
a
everything.
No, I'm anytime after.
Trial and
So,
error.
yeah.
Some people are, who's in for Mike's
Okay.
So
wife.
there's no copyright laws you have to worry about, there's no.
Okay,
right.
Mine
Got it
is,
all clear.
Yeah.
We are an LLC.
Because how many people
So-
showed up.
4, 5,
We are on
Yeah.
the up and
Yeah,
up.
it is, it is a lot of research to see what's going
So
to
she's only really
Yeah.
what's going to be a payout, what's, you know.
Yeah, see, I don't know much about that, but if we.
Oh, yeah.
She came in here and she said that
movie
day
day
and stuff.
once a
Yeah.
month,
She really
That
did.
is awesome.
that way
Okay,
we
good.
give
So you've been in
local-
touch with her? Oh, so you have her number?
I said when
I'm
they,
just thinking,
they
oh,
did
because we
this
started.
Do you wanna just call her and,
this year,
well, do you want to where you've already been corresponding with her, or do you want one right now instead? Do you want to just see if she's available tomorrow afternoon or
You
something?
know, I live in town and work out of Bangor, and,
So we went as far as we.
we're just now starting to get,
Okay.
we put together a few short movies.
She's
Sleep Eaters
really
is our first
got kids, so.
feature length, and that took us 2 years to put together.
Oh, I'm sure.
Filming,
You can't put in.
we got the,
You don't want to.
we are no budget, we did Sleep Eaters for $700,
Okay.
which is
Torn out.
unheard of
They're
for
like-
making a feature length
She's
film.
busy.
So that's
The
why
one we're
that's
working on
strategic plan or
now is
whatever.
gonna be another feature length, however, it's 3 stories intertwined with one wrapped around it.
People
It's
need
something a lot different than what we've normally done.
Our goal is we need
Usually they're 12 to 20 minute shorts.
Okay.
The first one we did was called Sleep Eater.
You don't
It
know
worked
about
on DVD.
and then
It became the #1 local selling DVD.
They tell us that the Cheer Up Showcase is
So we
gonna
took
happen.
that money and decided we're gonna do a feature length, and that's where Sleep Eater.
We've done this all the time.
And
Cheer Up
so
something
we'll
and
get
then
the
we
first-
have
Like I say, I donated a copy to the library.
tomorrow night. I forget about that, tomorrow night. No?
Well, I actually.
She's here for the SCI basketball game. I gotta have her there at 5. Oh, wait, but that won't last long, that is one option. Everybody,
Stop in,
there's not
we
too
can
bad.
get a show in the Sleep Eaters, and I can bring them.
So if we weren't meeting,
Maybe we can use it for something
yeah, it
else.
must have been something up over here. I gotta take her at 5. So we can do 4 or 5.
So we do more of an evening, and I say that just because of kids. This would be. on
I mean,
the
I
hour
would think,
end of-
I mean, if we wanted to do something at like 6:30 or 7, like a night.
It is kind of graphic, there's a little bit of nudity in it.
Okay.
All right,
So
and
it's
then
not
sure,
something
I
that
hope,
would gear
I don't
towards
know,
children.
whatever. I don't know where to go.
Sunday afternoon.
Oh, yeah.
One Wednesday here and there was one thing, but
Yeah, well, I'll be in touch with you.
how that
We'll
goes.
see.
It'll be okay.
We'll see if we
Figure it
can
out.
get some note for showing you that. And I've talked to Ann about the Halloween.
Yes.
You know, we could use a premiere at the theater.
Okay.
We obviously donate the movie, no money comes to us, everything that comes in goes into the theater. And, again, we
Okay,
could
because
bring.
that'd be something I have to figure out if it goes to the theater, if it goes to the fundraising part of it.
Well, I think if I.
And you know this,
I
and you
know.
know this.
If we donate the
Which way?
movie towards you, wouldn't it just go into like the regular business?
It could,
fund
if
I think
as a
you
regular
could,
now?
I would think you could almost,
Or
you as a person doing that, saying, I am doing this for operating budget,
Right.
not for building renovations. I am donating.
But anything to keep it going, get the money
Right,
coming in.
exactly.
And
So
that way we
I-
can-
so
I
that's,
think
that's what we have to figure
that they,
out.
well, I would,
I
you
do
know,
think there's a market out
if
there.
I come up
for
and I gave
independent
you
movies.
$100.
Can I
you know.
just shut this off?
Yeah.
I'll bring
Yeah.
that, and then,
Oh,
No, you gotta grab this up.
No,
I gotta hand it out
yeah,
anyway.
but
yeah.
I want to thank you so much for
Oh, you're more than
everything.
welcome.
Well, thank you, ladies.
Yeah, you have a wonderful week and I'll be in touch, Donna.
What's that?
You have a wonderful week and I'll be in
Oh,
touch.
thank you. Yes, you too. I've got a lot going on.
Yes, you do.
More than I said, I'm so overwhelmed. Yeah.
I was a little late, really, Ann? She didn't ask, are you all set, are you doing? You know, so keeping, you know, open, I open to the public, but, I mean, the comments if you want and stuff, but. So anyway, no, I just wanted to, you know, if you got John helping me, that's.
I will for a couple of weeks anyway, on the phone, and we'll meet again. I gotta find out when that will be. I got new chairs and works. I'm not kidding you. Oh my God.
Really?
Can I talk to you about that in just a minute?
Yeah, sure.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about that. Most of them.
Oh.
I'm trying to make sure there's nothing down here. And this is stuff I'll bring up at the next meeting anyway.
What's that? Oh, you're signing up for the next one. So the next 2 Wednesdays, is that what I heard? Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not gonna make this Saturday to the network one. And I'm not gonna be able to make next Wednesdays here, but are the minutes online for your meetings?
Not right now. Oh, excuse me. This one? Yes. Okay.
Oh. Guess I can